So first and foremost, thank you so much for taking your time this morning to come out to the Ask Me Anything for we're calling it our kickoff for the Ogden Catalyst Accelerator. This will be our very first accelerator in Ogden, Utah. For those of you that are familiar with Catalyst Campus in Colorado Springs, they have hosted over 9 cohorts, and we are running our curriculum and the design of our cohort very similar to the one in Colorado Springs. And we'll get into the programmatics and the requirements as we go further down into the details, but we're just excited to have you here. So I am kicking this off to our team, and Kyle, if you would be so kind as to take a minute and introduce the Digital Transformation Office, and Swap you as well.
Yep, absolutely appreciate it. So I'm Kyle Hurst, Chief of the Digital Transformation Office. So for those that don't know, the Air Force has a Digital Transformation Office. We're scoped for the acquisition, sustainment, enterprise. So how do we modernize, facilitate a, bringing us. I've been joking a little bit that we, people like to say bring us into the 21st century, and for the Air Force, that's actually true. That may have been 20-something years ago, but we're still kind of not there yet. So we're trying to help kind of modernize the way we do acquisition within the Air Force, and so. My job's been easy because I'm just a talking head, and I got people like Vince on my team who's much more capable and smarter than I am. So I'll kick it over to you to introduce yourself.
Yeah, so Vince Pecoraro, I go by Swath. If any of you guys would like to use that name, I will respond. But I'm the lead program manager for the DTO, and I got a contracting officer background, so more of like an acquisition background. First time as a program manager, doing my best. It's a definitely cool standing up a new office. I was part of AFWorks and helped to stand that up, and now I moved over to the DTO to help that kind of get its sea legs under itself. And I'm relatively tied into the innovation ecosystem, and really excited about the opportunity partnering up with Catalyst Campus. I did a lot of work with their Colorado Springs group. In fact, I just was in Colorado Springs yesterday, working with some of their team there. And now on the red eye back home, and get to help kick off the Utah Catalyst Campus location. So really excited, and looking forward to seeing all the great companies that come through. Over.
Thanks, Swath, and thanks, Kyle. Anissa, are you on the line?
I haven't seen her, Jess.
You haven't seen her yet? Okay.
Yeah.
Garrett, if you'd like to introduce yourself, I would love to give you a second to just say who you are.
Sure thing. So my name is Garrett Sackley. I'm the marketing guy for Catalyst Campus Ogden, and specifically the accelerator as well. So I handle all things marketing with social media, specifically LinkedIn. Just loving my time at Catalyst.
We're so happy to have you because you're my creative arm. So thank you for being here, Garrett.
Yeah, I just saw Anissa just jumped on.
Oh, excellent. I'll give her a second just to get her bearings then. I'm Jessica Reese. I had about 15 years as a program manager up at Hill Air Force Base before coming over as the Tech Accelerator Director for Catalyst Campus Ogden. And there's a lot of awesome that comes from that. I get so excited. I worked in software engineering as a program manager for the F-16 weapon system. I had a wonderful opportunity to be a part of a big program up at Hill Air Force Base and help them out with their cloud environment. So this digital data strategy really touches my heart because I'm like, man, there's a lot of problems I was trying to solve, and I would love to see how industry would like to help me solve this. So I'm really excited to be here. I talk really fast, so I'm really glad this is recorded so people can slow it down and do it in slow-mo. But if I will be sending the slides out, so I do want to let everybody know that if you did register with your email, I will send you these slides, and we'll probably post it with the recording just so people have a chance to get the requirements down and see what's a part of them. Anissa, I heard that you were on. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So I am the executive director out of Ogden Catalyst Campus. Pretty excited to be here. We're really driving innovation and collaboration and really integrating into the community. So this is pretty much my dream job. So I'm super excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's go into a little background about Catalyst Campus. So Anissa, before you jump off, will you tell us a little bit about kind of the landscape of why are we in Ogden?
Yes, actually, this originally started about 5 to 6 years ago. We were looking at a way to integrate into the community and off base with our software team at Hill Air Force Base. So we had actually taken a poll, and they said a lot of the system engineers and software engineers had said that they wanted to be located in downtown Ogden. So this is like the perfect, like everything coming together. We have a facility in downtown Ogden that we're renovating. We started off with a smaller location in startup Ogden, so Weber State's facility. And then what we're doing is just expanding across that whole block. But we're really trying to drive a collaborative ecosystem, not only within the DoD and industry and small businesses, but we're really trying to drive it within the community as well, engaging with the community and getting them to understand either one, that they should become a software developer, or two, that they can actually come and work with the DoD. So we're working on our accelerator for small businesses. We're workforce training. We're trying to get after MBSE, which is a huge issue for Northrop and the Air Force right now, trying to identify how to like really bridge those gaps and then integrate entrepreneurs, VCs. So we just had a VC summit where a ton of VCs ended up coming out just to talk about how the DoD can really make an impact. And after a phase 2, if people aren't getting phase 3s, how do you get a VC to come and support you to get past what they call the valley of death? So there's that. And then we also are we really want to be that collision space for industry and small businesses and the defense industry as a whole. So just really spark innovation, collaboration, and stimulate business growth, but not just business growth. Like we want to expand Ogden to the point where it is a tech hub for DoD. And with that stated, we now are over aerospace and defense, Silicon Slopes. We're also over aerospace, Ogden, Silicon Slopes. So it's pretty exciting. We've got a lot of movement going here. And there's only one direction to go, which is forward and continued integrating to the community. So we have a neutral environment where the DoD can come and integrate into organizations and technologies and identify new ways of doing business. They also were really moving hard with identifying problem statements and then trying to get after a solution. So we're working with, as soon as a problem statement comes up, we need to be getting after a solution to ensure that we're modernizing quickly. And then we're also, we're including a ton of different organizations and sectors to include aerospace, defense, homeland security, space, cyber, IT, and just other technologies. We're really integrating well into the Silicon Slopes Valley, where we're getting a lot of interest from small businesses down there wanting to come and interface with us and show us their technologies. So maybe we can adopt it. And then also allowing for most like flexible environment and ability to adapt to cutting edge technology. The other thing is we have subject matter experts. Like I was on a call previous to this with Robin Yemen, who is a well-known agile expert. She does a lot of training. She's one of the few actually certified in that level of safe agile training. And then real-time data integration through collaboration with industry at large. And that one hits home for me because when previous to this job, I was working at Northrop, and then prior to that, I was working at Hill Air Force Base. So I got to kind of see all aspects of how we should be doing business, and it should be one team approach so that we're actually getting after the problem statements at hand quicker. So we have a huge interest in this one team approach where you have Northrop, Air Force, BAE, aerospace sitting in the same environment and really driving that collaborative modernization ecosystem, really like working together towards a solution as opposed to emailing each other and it taking a while to get to that actual solution. So that's it. I'm done talking.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I appreciate it. It's a very deliberate collaboration space. And I like that we try to be that front door, right? To where we worked at Hill Air Force Base, and we were throwing out RFIs and trying to get industry buy-in to come tell us what our requirement was and what we needed. I like to think of Catalyst Campus as that hub and front door that allows government to come in and really discuss and have an open collaboration space between us and smalls. So it's really exciting. So let's talk about the accelerator program and why it is so exciting to me. When I was a program manager, I would have we'd call them like Friday startup, where we would have small businesses come to us and want to pitch and tell us a little bit about their products. As the accelerator, I like that we bring in subject matter experts to help not only startups and small businesses understand how do I do business with the government, and that's what we really try to hit on when you're a part of the cohort. Is I want to give you an opportunity to meet our subject matter experts. So how do I find R&D tax credits? How do I find opportunities up at Hill Air Force Base? And how do I meet people? Because sometimes we're very siloed up on base. So we're behind the gate and we don't know how to get the word out about what it is that we need from a technology perspective. And so the accelerator model really brings in and allows companies to learn about security and compliance, learn about how we lower that barrier of entry to get a contract at Hill, as well as I want to meet Jon Snow and ask him how does this technology work in the environment that you need it. I think the DoD is putting out a lot of really good pushes for user interface design. We're coming from the F-16 and being a very old system. My pilots all the time came to me and told me about things they wanted to fix, right? And so it's really exciting when I can create a collaboration space to have you, the technology SME, talk to the individual that's going to use it at an operational level. That is exciting. And so it's a 3-month accelerator program. We will be starting May 2nd, and we will bring in a lot of subject matter experts. I've got some new folks from the tech FAR and even the digital data strategies that likes to come in and talk a little bit about how we can even take it further from a requirement and contracting perspective. So Swath, as a PM, I know sometimes we miss the lingo or that vernacular that really needs to be in how we get that solicitation out and how we tell people, how do we do agile and in iterations, right? And so it's kind of exciting. And I think that we'll have a lot of people come to the table to learn and be a part of this opportunity. Kyle, what is this opportunity? What's it about, man?
All right, appreciate it. So yeah, so this first problem statement we're kicking off. So like I said, we're trying to kind of digitally modernize the way we do acquisition and sustainment within the Department of the Air Force. And so we know the data that we have today is different than the data we need to move forward into that kind of future digital state. And so some of the key things I want to point out in the problem statement that I think is going to be most insightful, useful for us, and informative for you guys to know kind of what exactly we're looking for. The first part is to facilitate the development, right? So just that phrase right there. We know kind of where we are today is not where we need to be. We have a pretty good site picture. We would love to have a well integrated environment that everyone has seamless access to. We can share information with our industry counterparts, with small businesses, with different groups within our acquisition system and enterprise. And they all have immediate access across all security levels with the right protections. We know what that vision kind of end state looks like. But how we get from where we are today to where we need to be is that journey is what is what we need help with, what we need kind of innovative ideas, concepts around how to get from today to 20 years from now. So and the other piece I want to really focus in on is the scalable hybrid piece. So again, we're looking at acquisition sustainment all. So that's a massive swath of information, right? So we've got we've got information from brand new programs that can go kind of wild, right? They can get the data they need, get modern software tools, that's usable in those modern tools, get the data usable for those tools, and just go full, quote, full digital. And then we've got legacy programs that have been around for 50 years, and the data they have is the data we have. And some of those programs, like the B-52, are going to be around for another 50 years. And so we've got pieces and parts of that are doing these modernization efforts, and they're making digital twins of the engine. But then other pieces of the plan is just massively old data that are archaic information. We have to figure out how do we kind of handle, from very old legacy systems that we have to keep maintaining and sustaining to brand new high-end, full digital systems. How do we kind of manage and handle all of that information and keep everything moving forward so that we can kind of coherently, modernize the acquisition sustainment enterprise. So that's kind of the 30-second elevator pitch, I think, for what the problem statement we're getting after. How do we kind of get those inch-stones, milestones to help get us from today to that 20 years from now vision? And then, yeah, that link down there, I think, has another couple paragraphs that gives a little more information. But I'll stop there, and then we can get some questions later.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, Kyle. And I think that's a great introduction. The link that's on here is the application site. And so I just wanted to make sure everybody knew it does give a little bit more on some of the topics of interest from digital data strategies and frameworks, and also training. I think that right now we have a big need for training. How do you do infrastructure as code, as like he was saying, from an on-prem onto a cloud, and especially when you have lots and lots of data on-prem. And so just even the training and some of that facilitation is what a lot of these teams are looking for. So definitely make sure to check that link, you guys, on some of those topics of interest to see if your company's technology applies to those spaces as well. Thank you, Kyle. All right. What's this timeline? So we opened up our solicitation on Valentine's Day because I heart you all. And we're also looking to close here about in the next week. So March 7th is when we will be closing these solicitations. And the link that we'll make sure to get out to everybody is where to apply. We will let everybody know March 11th if you have been selected for the pitch day. We will host a pitch day with government stakeholders, the digital transformation office team, as well as some of the evaluators from Catalyst Campus. And pitch days are exciting and fun. I love to hear what new technology you guys are working on, see the MVP, hear about some of your guys' plans going forward. So we do have pitch days scheduled for March 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. We will notify everyone of who is selected on the 29th and 30th of March, get out some of the contractual documentation for those that are selected. And we are looking to start May 2nd. Now, this is exciting for me because I'm totally biased and I live in Utah. May, June, and July are probably the best times to come out and visit us here. We have wonderful things planned for you guys during this cohort because it's all about the experience of Utah. So please know that we are doing it in May and we will finish out about the 25th of July and then do a demo day on the 25th of July. Some of our programming, what does it mean to be in the accelerator? We do a lot of workshops. We will do a 30 to 45 minute, all the companies come together and listen to a subject matter expert and have a interactive dialogue of here is maybe 30 minutes of presentation and ask your questions, but you also get one-on-one time with your company with each facilitator. So if it's in regards to R&D tax credit, if it's in regards to maybe some security compliance, or maybe you need some accounting help, we want you to have one-on-one time with those facilitators to make sure that you get a chance to ask your specific questions. So we will have a lot of conversations with AFWorks and, hey, how do I write a winning SIBR? And how do I get into some of these opportunities that are out there for me? How do I get a government technical point of contact to help me get through that SIBR process? So there's a lot of really good things that come from the cohort and being a part of it, on top of trying to line you up with a lot of opportunities for a technical point of contact. If any of you have gone for SIBRs, that is really, really a crucial element in trying to get through the SIBR process, making sure that you're tied into the environment and what that use case is for that use case discovery. We do a lot of the customer discovery, whether when you're on site, we will always have a government customer present. It will change throughout. It might be the digital transformation office. Kyle and Swath are all excited. They told me they're coming snowboarding, right? So they're here, they're coming to Utah. In May, they won't be snowboarding, probably boat or skiing, right? So we'll have somebody here, it might be from Hill Air Force Base. The portfolio at Hill Air Force Base is very vast. I've got a 1960s flight line. I got some really great weapon systems on the F-16, the F-22, the F-35. I've got an engineering maintenance group. I've got the 75th Air Base Wing and Comm Squadron. There's a lot of opportunity here. So we will always have somebody from the government that can come and just kind of plug into the accelerator and see what your technologies are. We will have a lot of networking events every week that you are on. I might take you to Topgolf. I might take you to Social Acts. I might take you hiking. We are huffing and puffing up Adams Canyon, and we're probably talking a little bit about what are some fun opportunities here in Utah, because there's a lot. We will have that pitch day on the 25th of July. And then we will also be inviting you back for a digital engineering symposium that will be hosted in August. So please mark on your calendars, the 23rd and 24th of August is the Digital Engineering Symposium that will give you an even bigger stage to talk about your company and what your technologies provide. All right, minimum requirements. We do ask that you're a small startup or a small business. I know that there's a little link on there about 50 or under employees, and I have had a lot of individuals that have said, well, I've got about 100. I want everybody to apply. I think that there's a really good, appropriate use case here for companies that do have an MVP product that might be commercialized, but is there a dual use for it up at Hill Air Force Base or here within the DoD? And as the DTOs here, we want to look at it as an enterprise. So there is a lot of opportunity for anybody that qualifies under that small business umbrella. We do ask that you can attend in person though, and that the same person from your company can attend on those on weeks, just for continuity and to make sure that we're making sure that the networking social screen or the socialism of that networking team really kind of comes together and solidifies. So there are some of these asks as far as who we're looking for. We want to know if there's good partnership opportunities for these companies and really make sure that the cohort's going to be successful for those that get selected. Swath, over to you. Why should they apply?
Yeah, so you've heard a lot of the benefits, but ultimately this stuff costs money. And there's lots of different models for how an accelerator can be run. And Catalyst's model is quite unique. They actually get the government to fund it. And they'll have a sponsor in there as well. So it doesn't cost really you any money to show up. It just takes your time and your participation. Other accelerators will take equity in your company or they'll do other things to help kind of cover their end of the cost. And that's one model. This model I think is much better and much friendlier to the companies that participate. Another key component of this is the community aspect. So it's one thing to be going down this journey of learning how to work with the government, learning how this whole new language really of acquisition and the FAR, non-FAR base, and all these different terms that you may or may not be familiar with. But then to go through that with other companies that are in the same kind of headspace as you and be able to bounce off questions that you may not, feel completely comfortable just asking because you might feel, oh, do I sound stupid asking this question? Well, guess what? There's a whole group of other people that are at the same exact level as you are, and you can ask them questions and form relationships. And what you'll find, and we've seen this happen with lots of the other accelerators, is that some of these companies will solve a piece of your problem set too, and you'll start to form like this our powers combined moment where you actually have a much better offering on the back end that is way more valuable because you got to have this time to really form a deep bond with these companies and connect. So that's a huge piece of it. Having that office space and a physical place to go and do things, I think that facilitates the collisions that you want to see happening. And that's something we forget a lot, especially during COVID. How many things did we miss out on because we didn't have those collisions? We didn't have the time to interface with others. So from that aspect, it's huge. And then also, we've done, I think, a decent job of finding good Sherpas to help connect you into the DoD environment and to be able to answer your questions. Those people are going to have all sorts of different backgrounds, some of them more technical and other ones more acquisition based, but ultimately those are resources that are going to connect you back into your target market and in many cases give you direct access to your target market, which is the one thing that all businesses should strive for, right? Can I talk to the person that's going to be using my stuff? Because then I can really solve their problem if I know where their pain points are. So those are the reasons that I think you should apply. And it's in Utah. It's kind of cool too. So that's what I got.
Thank you, Swath. And one thing too that I forgot to mention, you guys, is the Catalyst campus space where you will be sitting in Ogden. We do have government and work engineers working in that space. So it's kind of fun. Maybe you have some questions about the environment. Maybe there's a back end tweak that you need to make in order to make it a dual use. You will have people there on site that you get to mingle with that are actually working with applications and putting them into the government space for use cases up on Hill Air Force Base. So there will be lots of opportunity to mingle and talk to those people as well. All right, the question slide. And of course, I will again email these out to everybody that registered today and take more questions if you guys have them.
There's some really good questions in the chat.
Let me end this show so I can actually see the chat. And Anissa, if you can see them, do you want to help me go through some of those? Oh, I can't hear you, Anissa. You're muted.
Of course, has to happen at least once. I'm glad it was me. Yes, the DTO office is ran out of Right Pat, which is pretty exciting. And then we have some counters. So like John McCrae is working with the DTO office and we can actually interface with him at our location. So he'll be sitting in downtown Ogden. Isn't that right, John?
John will be around, but hey, Kyle and I are road warriors. We will also make sure our presence is felt. Partly because I think we get just as much out of interfacing with the companies as I think they'll get out of, the people that we know in the government that might be able to connect, that might be able to connect them to. Over.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's see, what other questions? When people fly down, how much time is required? Jess, when people fly down to Utah, how much time is required? How long are they there? And does the program pay for those flights?
So the corporate sponsorship is definitely something that helps offset the travel cost and lodging. And they come in on our curriculum is usually based Tuesday to Friday and Monday a travel day. And so usually on the on weeks for the schedule, they are there from Tuesday to Friday. And every other week is off. So it's about 7 weeks altogether between that May 2nd to July 25th. We did take out the July 4th week just because a lot of people like to spend time with their families over the holidays.
Okay, next question. Is the pitch day in person or virtual?
The pitch day will be in person. We have in person on site for the curriculum as well as in person on site for the pitch event.
And I do want to add that at the Digital Engineering Conference, that's going to be a major opportunity to kind of like show off what you've done and what you do. So that will be in person as well. Let's see, next question. Talk to total time, whether we can have 2 attendees. Can we talk to the total time spent on site and whether we or not we can have 2 attendees, not just 1?
I am all for 2 attendees. I think sometimes it's nice to have because you kind of counterbalance each other. If you miss one thing, the other person catches it for you. And as far as the allotted space, the companies that are selected will have space enough for 2.
Okay. Does the company POC attending need to have a clearance?
No. Everything will be kept at a public level.
Do you know the dates for the on weeks?
I do have the dates for the on weeks. Let me grab them real fast for you. You know what? I will send them out to everybody that shows you exactly what it is. Like I said, May 2nd is an on week, and then it's every other week from there. But I will.